Hello and welcome. Today we're going to pull back the curtain on something that shows up on every single one of your payslips, but is often a bit of a mystery: the employee's pension scheme. We're going to figure out exactly where that money is going.
You've seen it, right? That little line item, PF deduction. And every month, a chunk of your salary just vanishes. It can feel like it's going into some giant unknown black hole. Well, today we're going to follow that money trail and see exactly where it ends up, and more importantly, what it's supposed to do for you.
So here's what we've got lined up. First, we'll uncover that your PFA isn't just one thing, but two separate pots of money. Then we'll dig into how the pension part actually works. After that, get ready for some drama, because we're going to cover the whole legal saga about getting a higher pension. We'll look at the latest changes, and then we'll wrap it all up by talking about what this means for you and your future.
All right, let's get right to it. Here's the first big secret about your payslip. That PF deduction doesn't just go into one account, nope. It's actually split between two totally different systems, and each one has a very different job when it comes to your retirement.
The easiest way to think about it is like this. You've got the EPF, the Employees Provident Fund. That's your big retirement treasure chest. You put money in, it grows with interest, and then boom, you get a big lump sum when you retire. But then you have the EPS, the Employees Pension Scheme. Think of this as your lifelong monthly pocket money. This is the fund that's going to pay you a steady income every single month after you hit 58.
So how does this magic split happen? Well, your 12% contribution, that all goes straight into your EPF treasure chest. Simple enough. But your employer's matching 12%. That's where it gets interesting. Most of it, 8.33%, gets funneled into your pension scheme, the EPS. The smaller chunk, 3.67%, goes into your EPF. Oh, and the government also chips in a little bit, 1.16% to help fund that pension pot.
Okay, so money is flowing into this pension pot. But how do you actually get a pension, and how much will it be? Let's talk about the rules of the game. The good news is, the eligibility is pretty straightforward. There are basically three boxes you need to tick. First, you have to be a member of the EPFO. Second, and this is important, you need at least 10 years of service. And that can be across different jobs, by the way. And third, you just got to reach the retirement age of 58. And now for the million-dollar question, or, well, the 1,000 rupee question. How much will you actually get? It comes down to this formula. They take your pensionable salary and multiply it by your years of service. But here's the crucial detail, the part you really need to know. Pensionable salary isn't your last drawn salary. It's the average of what you earned in your last 60 months, so your last 5 years of work. Now, no matter what that math spits out, there is a floor, a safety net, if you will. The government guarantees that the absolute minimum pension you can get is 1,000 rupees a month. Now, it's not a huge sum, but it is a guaranteed baseline. Okay, so far this all seems pretty straightforward, right? Well, this is where our simple pension story turns into a full-blown legal saga. For decades, there's been this epic battle raging over one simple idea: the right to get a bigger pension. And trust me, it's a story with a lot of twists and turns.
And this quote, man, it just says it all, doesn't it? A bag full of litigations. It means that basically from day one, the scheme has been tangled up in court cases, and all of them boil down to one central conflict. Should your pension be based on a limited, capped salary? Or should it be based on your actual salary, no matter how high it is?
You can really see the back and forth on this timeline. It's like a game of tug-of-war. First, way back in '96, a window of opportunity opens up. A new rule let people contribute more to get more pension. But then bam, in 2014, that window gets slammed shut. A new rule comes in and caps the pensionable salary at just 15,000 rupees. But the story doesn't end there. After years of legal battles, the Supreme Court finally stepped in 2022. It did something interesting. It kept the 2014 rules, but in a huge move, it cracked the window open again, just for a little while for certain people. So that Supreme Court ruling was a really big deal, and it did two main things. First, it gave some folks one last shot to apply for that higher pension. But the second part, and this was a real game changer, the court got rid of a rule that made employees pay an extra 1.16% for that benefit. The court said, nope, that extra bit should come from the employer's contribution.
So, the Supreme Court made its ruling. Sounds great in theory, right? But what actually happened on the ground?
Well, as it turns out, just applying for that higher pension became a massive headache for a lot of people, even while the scheme kept changing in other ways.
Just look at this number for a second. It's staggering. Over 1.1 million applications for a higher pension rejected. And this is after the Supreme Court gave the green light. It just goes to show you what an absolute maze the process became for people trying to get what they felt they were owed.
So you're probably asking, why? Why were so many rejected? Well, it mostly came down to one thing: paperwork. A lot of people just couldn't produce the right proof. Imagine trying to find a specific form you and your boss signed 20 years ago, or trying to get pay records from a company that might not even exist anymore. It was a huge, huge hurdle. But hey, it's not all bad news. There has been a positive development. In June 2024, they made a change that's actually really fair for people who only work for a short time. Now, if your service is under 6 months, you can just take your pension contribution out as a lump sum. And that's a change that's going to help over 7 lakh people every year.
Okay, wow, that was a lot I know. We've been through the rules, the legal battles, the numbers. So let's just pause and boil it all down. What's the bottom line for you and your retirement planning?
All right, here's the final cheat sheet. Just look at them side by side. Your EPF is your treasure chest. It's that big lump sum, it earns interest, and it's mostly tax-free. Your EPS is your monthly pocket money. It's a pension for life, it doesn't earn interest directly, and you do have to pay tax on it when you receive it. Getting this difference is absolutely key.
So, if you only take a few things away from this, let it be these. 1. Your PF is 2 different things, a lump sum and a pension. 2. You need 10 years in the system to get that pension. 3. The whole higher pension thing is really complicated. 4. The minimum pension is low, so you need other savings. And 5, and this is a big one, your universal account number, your UAN, treat it like gold. Keep it updated every time you switch jobs. It's your ticket to making sure all your service years count.
And that leaves us with one final big question to think about: the employee's pension scheme. It's a vital social safety net for millions of people across India, no doubt about it. But with a minimum payout of just 1,000 rupees a month, and a system that seems to be constantly debated and changed, is it really enough to provide a dignified retirement in this day and age? That's the central question for everyone, from policymakers to every single one of us.